Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Dog Connection Show. Today, we have a special show. We have Brother Claus with us, who, AKA, is Lou Cattaruzza. And he's someone who has discovered his true nature as a descendant of Old Saint Nick. He's here to tell us how we are all descendants of Old Saint Nick. So, welcome, Lou.
Well, thank you, Kathy. Well,
So, Brother Klaus, how did you come to the realization that you are Santa's brother and that we are all brothers and sisters?
I'll tell you, Kathy, if you go shop in Target, maybe this will happen to you, but there I was one day shopping in Target. Now, I don't go there often, but sure enough, that day, for somehow all the stars kind of felt were coming together. A little boy saw me there, and he came over. Now, this is several years ago. Came over to me and looked up at me and said, "Are you Santa Claus?" And so at that moment, I didn't know what to say. So of course, I looked down at him and I said, "Well, no, I'm not. I'm not Santa Claus, but I am his brother." And he looked up at me and he
Oh,
just
how
gave me a
cute.
great smile. He hugged me, and I just felt that at that moment I found my nature. And of course, it helps that I look like Santa Claus. That's always
You do,
a
you
good
do.
thing. And so I decided from that point on that I was going to flaunt it. It's certainly an important. I'm so blessed that someone actually thought I looked like him. But the question was, what am I going to do to actually be like him? And that was the interesting part. So I decided that I was going to commit myself to promoting a program that has people recognize that they're all brother and Santa uh, uh, clauses, or brother clause or sister clause, that is in them already. And all they have to do is really discover, scientifically, by the way, that they are that.
So
Um,
why do you think it's so important for us to experience your revelation about?
well, when it happened to me, and I mean, it happened to me after reading a lot of books. I've spent lots of time trying to self actualize, try to figure out what is the meaning of life, the big purpose and everything. And I was searching for many years. I spent lots of time at seminars and workshops and reading all kinds of books and everything else, trying to figure out, what really makes us tick? How do I feel so good? So in one of the programs that I was involved with, I ended up getting into a state of mind from going through a kind of regression and remembering, and all of a sudden it was like in living color. I remember the time that I went to Macy's down in Manhattan, and my sister took me there. I was around probably around 10 years old, and we went there, and she said, "We're going to shop for mommy's gift for the holiday." So I was a paper boy at that point, so I had some money. So we went to Macy's, and I got this beautiful pin. She had very long strawberry blonde hair, and she put it up in a bun. So she liked this comb with had little jewels on it. Just a little nice, and of course it was nice that my sister was there because it kind of giving me advice on what I should get. And we got this great hairpin, and the whole experience for me was I ended up going home, and the holiday came, and I wrapped it up, and I made a real nice gift out of it, and I couldn't wait to give it to my mother. And it was one thing about getting gifts. As a kid, you love to get gifts, of course, but the feeling that I had when my mother got it and opened it up, Kathy, I tell you, I had goosebumps. I felt, I
The joy
literally
of
had
giving.
goosebumps, and I remembered that experience. So I always ask the question, what is it that makes people feel so good
Yeah.
in the act of giving? And sure enough, about a year and a half ago, I discovered an article in Psychology Today, and it put me on a journey of just taking in data like there's no tomorrow. And what I found out was that we are wired. We are wired for our brains to feel, to put ourselves in a state of well-being, feeling good. Because oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, all these chemicals that are inside of us are triggered when we actually do something, an act of contribution,
Mm-hmm.
an act of giving. It's amazing to me. For me, it was my spiritual moment. I was an atheist all of my life.
I call it my goosebump and butterfly moments.
Yeah, and it just, and all of a sudden it was like the light bulb went on, and I said, why in the world would anyone not get value from understanding that they can create satisfaction on demand
Right.
simply by their act of contribution and giving? So I made it my mission to go out there and get in front of corporations and tell them why it's so important for a corporate culture to be committed to the betterment of the human condition through their active contribution to their clients, to their employees, to just have a contributing mindset, because we're wired for it. We're meant to do that.
What a great idea, Lou.
Yeah,
So, so what really did happen to Santa Claus?
well, of course, the story has to be so modern today. Old
Yeah.
Saint Nick, you know, it's funny that you should ask that, because my 7-year-old asked me that yesterday. And literally, we had a conversation. I said, it's time. So I said, listen, I sat down, I said, I want you to know I am his agent. And
Oh.
I am his agent. He has 10,864 agents all over the place that do his work. He set up a corporation, and it works without him because he's no longer around. But everyone that has in them the spirit, the soul. So what I am is his soul brother. And he said he was so excited. He was excited that he had his grandfather was Santa Claus's soul brother. And so he was so ecstatic. And the story there obviously is that every one of us in the holiday season, in the spirit, we sense it. We feel how good it feels to be actually giving and contributing, and knowing, just knowing that little scientific fact, the biology of who we are, that makes it so much better, because we're meant to be this way. We're meant to be a brother Claus, a sister Claus. We're all meant to do that, to love each other, to care for each other. And a world that thinks that way and operates that would just be a better place.
Well, what is the story of Old Saint Nick?
Oh my God. I mean, you really want to find out all about it, do what I did. I Googled.
You Googled
You
it.
know?
Okay.
And he's a guy in somewhere around 250 AD that was known for his kindness and his generosity in taking care of people. He gave up his wealth and he just went around taking care of people. And he just got that history became. Now, of course, you know, the thing that I'm not too excited about is what's happened to the commercialization of Christmas.
Yeah, I was just
Christmas
going to
is,
say
you know,
that.
for Christians, it's about baby Jesus and a Messiah being born that was just of that contributing mindset, that loving mindset, the idea. And for lots of other religions, they have their own icons, and I think that's all wonderful. And I don't like the idea that we have to glorify the commercial aspect of it. More gifts, more this, more that, more is better. You know, there's a kind of a greedy aspect to that I'm really not that thrilled about. So I promote, look, get your children to learn the gift that they have within them as soon as possible, that they could actually make a difference to the world, and that they can feel good. It's a simple message. It's not a hard message. Matter of fact, this morning, Nucci came over to me and he said, you know, I made something for, he's 7 years old now. He made something for his grandmother, my grandson. and he made something for my wife, and of course he made it for his mother, and he made gifts. He did the act just
Wow.
to do that, and he wrapped it up in beautiful. So I know that that what he's going to experience is exactly the same thing I did when it happened to me.
I was going to ask you, what is it that we can do to help children go back to understanding the real
Well,
story
yeah,
about
that's
the
right. So I tell you, one of the things that I think, and the dog connection to me is really uh, a valuable part of all this, because there are so many sheltered dogs
Mm,
that need love and affection. And so, from the context of the dog connection, there's a gift that keeps on giving. If you just know that when you hug it, when you take care of it, when you love it, you're not only doing it for them, but you're doing it for yourself. Now, look, you do it unconditionally, and most people do, but they get so caught up in their stuff, the things that go on in life in general, whether it's physical issues or whether it's relationship issues or work issues or money issues. They just need to sit back. Life goes by so quickly. All we need to do is just love each other. And a dog gives you the opportunity to get it back.
the gift that keeps giving.
Yeah. So I mean, if for anything, if you have a child and it's time to get yourself a pet, this is a good time of the year. Bring it home for a present. My gosh, the kid will just be crazy over that. And know that it's going to benefit you as well, because you're going to take care of it. You're the one that's going to do it. I know that. But it's really a great time of the year to do that. Yeah.
So what is your mission, Lou? What is it that you?
Well, listen. I have I don't. God willing, I'll be around for a while. So as long as I'm here, there are two things that I really see are critically important in the world to get. Individuals like you and I know that you're a graduate of Living SOS, and SOS stands for Satisfaction Operating System. It's basically principles that you follow, and they're very easy and simple to understand what they're all about. Basically, the way you think, your perspective, and all of a sudden you get a shift in the way you operate on a daily basis. Your perspective changes, and you become a magnet for things to happen that you always wanted to happen. So my mission is to go out to individuals, provide them a way of transforming what things that may be going wrong for them, by understanding their biology and understanding how they can implement principles to make it work. And another one is business, because business is so influential in the way the world is now evolving. We're evolving in business from a perspective of the sharing economy. We are on a Zoom conference call. I could, the technology is so available for people, and in the context of bringing the message to transforming the way business is done from to a more collaborative way of doing business, rather than the tough, hard, competitive way of doing business. Because if you do things right and you contribute, and you have a mindset in business about contributing to your employees, to your clients, then money follows. It's just the way it is.
Right,
You do great
right.
things, good things, invent, innovate, do things that are committed to the betterment of the human condition, and this world will have a great place. I now speak at conferences, business conferences. I do lectures online for people if they want to attend. They can go to livingsos.com. If a corporation can go to bremenclaus.com. Bremenclaus.com tells the story, what I do in front of an audience of business executives, and tell them basically that your corporate culture is your invention. Embrace it for what it can be, for the possibility it can be a leader in that. And we do, to execute that, we'll have retreats for executives, retreats for individuals that want to experience the mind-body connection, the biology, the learning, the
Yeah.
doing all the wonderful things. There's so much out there. I tell you, it's amazing to me how many people are now on board in having this transformation occur. It's a spiritual and science melding that's happening. Everything is being proven that the right way to be and act and operate is by loving people, loving others. And so
Oh,
that's my mission, is to go out there and tell that story and let people experience the possibility and the opportunity.
well, Lou, the reason I wanted you on the show is because the the notion on the Dog Connection TV on our show, what we like to do is show people how they can learn from their dog. And that's because a dog has a contributing mindset. It's innate to them.
It's
It's
unconditional.
natural, and
Yeah,
it's unconditional.
yeah,
So what you've tapped into, which is absolutely marvelous, is that it's the mindset that we have. If we can
yeah,
make a paradigm shift to not only learn from a dog, but learn from others and have that shift that says, hey, we're all connected. We should be contributing to each other. It's not about getting stuff and then keeping it. It's about getting it, using it, and then giving it back.
yeah,
But
yeah,
other people have the experience as
yeah,
well. So I think what you're saying is in the workplace, it's all about making money. It's all about getting that dollar in and bottom line, bottom line, bottom line. But do the people in the businesses, do they really stop and think, hey, wait a minute, this is about our customer. Is our
well,
customer going to be
you know,
satisfied?
it's interesting that you say that, because I've been speaking to business people a long time, and we have an intern program and an associate program in one of our organizations, and this is really the conversation about it. You can't make a mistake when you
Right,
go out of your way to contribute to whatever it is that you're doing, the action that you're involved. If you have to make this package, or you have to make this iPhone, if you make it with the mindset of what is it going to do for, how are you adding value to someone?
right,
How are you adding value to someone? And that's really the most basic understanding. And it's easy to move away from that, because you're unfortunately born also with a victim operating system rather than my social satisfaction operating, and you have to learn how to deal with it. And the best way to do that is to acknowledge it, be aware that you have it when you have it,
right.
and then make the shift. But you have to know that, and it's a discipline. You have to learn. It's like old habits. I started doing Tai Chi, Kathy, and one of the nice things that the person said to me was, once, and I watch it online, because everything is online today, right?
Yeah,
So Tai Chi, and she says, the mystics used to say, it takes 100 days to create a good habit,
yeah,
but you can also create a bad habit by doing that.
that's right.
So,
Very, very good point. I was actually going to mention that when we have these habits and we have these old thoughts, and you were talking about us all being wired. Well, yes, we are wired, but many of us are wired to our old thoughts, our old habits, our old way of doing things. So what you're planning, or what you actually do, is you show people what they're really thinking about right now, which is old stuff. And you bring them to learn in the present moment how to have a contributing mindset, which I
well,
absolutely love.
yeah.
And that's not an easy task, Lou. Uh,
Well,
you've got a real challenge in front of you when
it
these
is.
people
It's
come, because they come to it and they think, well, okay, change me.
right. Well, this is a process, and it's a process for me as well. I'm not disappointed, because I know what I've done in my life is done something like made one person experience that. I know that's happened to you.
Yes,
And I've had several people say, thank you so much. This is a wonderful thing that you've made me aware of. And that's all that it takes. If it continues, the message continues, and it's languaged well, so people get it with simplicity. To me, I think that's really valuable for the world, and that's all. And for me, whether, you know, whether what happens in the afterlife is an acknowledgement of what I do today, it doesn't matter. It just
Yeah.
makes me feel good today, and it feels good to be able to share this experience with others. So thank you for having me, and I know that we're
Oh,
running a little bit out of
you're
time. So,
welcome.
yeah, well, so I hope if anybody, again, we're just going to mention to it, besides absolutely share the dog connection with everyone, because it's a wonderful experience for people to really get involved with their dog. But also come to livingsos.com if you'd like to attend a seminar or a workshop, or you need some life coaching. I'd be happy to support and serve you in that way. If you'd like, if you're in business, you want me to come and talk to your employees, and you want me to do a little shtick about Brother Claus, I'd be happy to do that. Make it light up a little bit, and just share it. You know, go around and share it. So livingsos.com, brotherclaus.com, and of course LouCattaruzza.com.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Lou. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next time, and thanks for watching the special edition of the Dog Connection Show. Bye.